Your lead story this half hour is Cherly Zondi, the first witness in the trial of controversial pastor Timothy Omotoso, will face another grueling day of cross-examination in the Port Elizabeth High Court in the Eastern Cape. Well, yesterday, Zondi gave evidence against the tele-evangelist and his co-accused Zukisa, Sitho and Lusanda, Solani. Well, Zondi told the court Omotoso sexually groomed her for years to be a sex slave. The court was also shown a video of a crusade where Omotoso welcomes her back to the church. Advocate Peter Doberman cross-examined her on her demeanor while singing emotionally in church, saying that she doesn't look fearful. Zondi says she concealed her fear as she was only 14 years old. Doberman also questioned why Zondi didn't resist Omotoso's intentions when she was 19 years old. Zondi told the court that she never raised an objection because Omotoso had a hold over her. The trial continues this morning. Well, Cherly Zondi, the first witness in the trial of the controversial pastor Timothy Omotoso, will face another grueling day of cross-examination in the High Court in Port Elizabeth today. Zondi is one of the members of Omotoso's church who accuse him of sexual assault. For a recap and what we can expect today, we are now joined by SABC's Cherly Zondi. She has been taking us through the story on the ground, in and out of court throughout the course of the week. A very good morning to you, Jade. Essentially, what stood out for you yesterday in court, just as a prelude as we enter day 3?
Very good morning to you, Shante, and good morning to the viewers. Well, for me, what really stood out was Peter Doberman showing those videos to the courtroom of Cherly Zondi attending the church crusades in Port Elizabeth as well as the church crusades in Durban. Also, when she went back to the church, there's a video that depicts her speaking to Timothy Omotoso, asking the church for forgiveness, asking the congregants for forgiveness for leaving the first time. You would know that Cherly Zondi left the church only to return a few years later, and she did that because she had thought that the man of God, Timothy Omotoso, had changed, and that through her conversations with a very good friend within the congregation, Cindy, who was feeding her what was happening inside the church, she believed that things had changed in the church, that when she returned, she'd be able to get an apology from Timothy Omotoso for the alleged assault, and also to get closure and to close the chapter. So that really stood out for me, and I think it stood out for a lot of people. The videos that were shown, and defense advocate Peter Doberman cross-questioning her on the reasons why she returned back to court. But Shate, I must also make a note of the fact that there is going to be a picket outside the Port Elizabeth High Court. The hashtag total shutdown is, rallying up outside. When we walked inside court, there were a few people, but I'm told that group has somewhat, expanded, and there's quite a large gathering outside who are going to be supporting Cherly Zondi throughout her trial today. You would know this is also the last day that she will be taking the stand, and the state prosecutor, Neba Ntelwa, has indicated that a new witness will take to the stand next week. Shante.
Essentially, what are we expecting then today? Is that just essentially for Cherly Zondi to conclude her testimony, and also just take us through some of the evidence that we saw yesterday that the defense brought forward?
Well, yesterday, Peter Doberman, the defense advocate, showed videos, like I said, to the court. He indicated that he was not yet done with that, so we are expecting that he will continue with that cross-examination, showing the court the videos and showing Judge Mandela Makahula the way in which Zondi interacted with the Jesus Dominion International Church. This somewhat falls into the evidence that he is, putting forward to the court, that Cherly Zondi was comfortable with Timothy Omotoso after the first incident, and also alluding to the fact that she was not afraid of Omotoso. You would know that during her testimony, Cherly said that she was afraid of Timothy Omotoso. She was scared of him, and the reason why she returned, in as much as she wanted closure, was that she was afraid of her life, as she saw him as a man that could inflict a lot of pain on her, and she also ultimately thought that she would succumb to death eventually if she did not return to the church. So this is all going to play out today. Like I said, those videos will be shown again. I know that defense advocate Peter Doberman has indicated that he's got 2 more videos to show to the court, and then he will continue with his cross-examination. So it remains to be seen whether it will be a long day today, Shante, or whether court will adjourn a little earlier today.
Now, we do understand at one point the judge had reprimanded some of the members that were sitting in the court for making utterances, for commenting, while Cherly Zondi yesterday was giving some of her testimony through cross-examination. Can you describe the type of people that are in court today, whether those include some of the same people? Are they also, are we seeing the same support that Timothy Omotoso has seen from the beginning of the week from church members, as well as that from other rights and movements groups and women's leagues?
That's very true. Just going back to the first question you asked me with regards to, the judge reprimanding certain people in court, the judge actually reprimanded Timothy Omotoso's wife, Taiwo. You would know that she has been chuckling throughout Zondi's testimony and commenting during the trial, and the judge snapped back, reminding her that this is a courtroom and not a circus, and that there is protocol to be followed, and also told her to stop chuckling, otherwise she will be removed. But generally throughout the trial, Timothy Omotoso's congregants have been occupying space within the gallery, and they have been chuckling and laughing during Zondi's testimony. Subsequently today, when we walked inside the courtroom, I can tell you that the second row in the gallery is now being reserved for SABC officials. I'm not sure if that is in light with what happened yesterday with the judge reprimanding Timothy Omotoso's wife, but the second row will now be occupied by the police, and then the third row will obviously have the general public, such as the ANC Women's League, who we have seen coming out full force supporting Cherly Zondi, as well as several other political parties such as the DA, and then general media and the general public as well, Shante.
Now, Jade, we do understand there seems to be some confusion around Cherly Zondi, of course, and the times and the dates. She is set to be writing exams at the moment.
That's very true. She is a student. She is a university student at UJ, University of Johannesburg, and we saw Judge Mandela Makahula saying that he does not want Zondi to miss out on any more exams. She missed a paper on Monday, and that is the reason why they are going to allow her to step off the stand, and then they will be bringing in a new witness on Monday. But the state prosecutor, Neba Ntelwa, has also indicated to the court that he will be calling Zondi back to the stand at a later date. So I suppose this is to allow her to complete her examinations, and once we have the other witnesses taken to the stand, they will call her back to the High Court, Shante.
Thank you very much for that, Jade. Can you also just give us some commentary that's been doing the rounds on social media, specifically around the defense and the way that the prosecution has come forward? Many people on social media, on media platforms, are saying this is probably why some rape victims are so reluctant in coming forward and staying mum on what's happened to them.
The trial has really gained a lot of traction on social media. We've seen this on Facebook, we've seen this on Twitter, we've seen some of the celebrities also, standing in solidarity with Cherly Zondi on Instagram and throwing their weight behind her. They also, saying that, the way the judiciary is run in South Africa, the way the defense advocate Peter Doberman cross-questions Zondi really needs to be looked at. I think that generally the general public are supporting Zondi. They believe that her giving her testimony is a way of standing up to violence against women and children, to sexual abuse as well. And the mere fact that she allowed her testimony in open court, that shows how strong she is, and that shows that she can overcome this. So South Africa has really thrown their weight behind, and they really are supporting her. And then on the flip side, you have people who are saying that in as much as we have been, hurling insults, or the general public has been hurling insults at the defense advocate, one needs to take into consideration the fact that he has a client to defend, and this is his job description. He needs to find loopholes within Zondi's testimony. So it really is very interesting to see how it all comes out to play within the general public sphere, Shante.
Thank you very much for that. SABC's Cherly Zondi just taking us through the prelude as we enter day 3 on the Timothy Omotoso rape trial, allegedly. We'll continue to give you live coverage as soon as court proceedings begin this morning.